Hello, everybody. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Insert Something Funny Here.
This is so
I'm,
fucked.
I'm, I'm. Fuck you. I'm Mia.
You sound so happy to be here.
I am so happy to be here, chat.
You sound like your parents are outside of your room and it's like the middle of the night and you don't want to wake anyone. That's how excited you sound to be here.
Your Honor, that's just how I sound. I can't help it.
Sounds like you have a CIA sniper posted outside your room,
Yeah,
and there's
you
a
have
red
a bomb-
dot on your forehead.
You have a
And
bomb
you don't do
strapped
this
to your
fucking
chest
intro,
and it
you
blows
die.
up if you go over a certain decibel.
Yeah, I have a cartoon time bomb on my chest right now. It is counting down from 6 minutes.
Well, thankfully that's as long as we have the episode for, so at least we can get that through.
Great. I'm glad that I was gonna say I was glad I can get you money, but I don't think the inaugural money episode is making.
Well,
money,
also
chat.
6 minutes isn't enough for money. It's 8.
Your Honor. All right, let me call up the bomb people and tell them to add.
Yep. This is a great joke and way to start the first episode, by the way. I'm sure
Yeah.
everyone loves this, and it's very comedic.
You know, it'd be
Oh,
even
yeah,
better
it's
if we
very-
fucking introduced ourselves.
I mean, I
did.
don't
It's
know.
almost like I was trying to
I don't
do
know if
that.
introducing ourselves would be as great as, bombs, threats, and
The
that's a great way
CIA
to start an
having a
episode.
sniper posted
really sets the
outside.
standard that, hey, this is
Yeah.
like all great podcasts. This is going to be 6 minutes, and we're going to say some things to get it canceled right away.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Awesome, I love
We're
that.
gonna get put on several watch lists.
Maybe just 1 or 2.
Anyways, FBI, if you need my name, it's Abby. Dayton, I forget if you gave your name to the.
I mean, I don't need to.
FBI.
You just gave it.
Oh yeah.
Great,
I
off
am
to a
what
great
she
start.
said.
This is so fucked.
All right, I'm gonna bring up the first topic.
Yo,
we
Mia,
got
hold up.
here,
Did you give
and
your
that
name, Mia?
is-
Well, now you don't need to. You're
I was the
welcome.
first. I was the first one.
Yeah.
1-2, and you were like, "Oh, you sound like you have a bomb strap."
See, I was too focused on the way you sounded like you had a bomb strapped to your chest to really hear you out.
What, do you have experience? Like, I was gonna start with the topic. Do we have a story time?
I mean, did you want to
to?
explain the structure of the podcast? Because, everyone can see Terraria, obviously,
That's fair. So yeah, we are.
Ignore
going
that.
It's
No way, the
so-
bone zone.
Not the bone zone.
We are doing as you would expect from this being a podcast. It is a podcast. However, we are also playing a game at the same time, which may sometimes be relevant or discussed, but generally is not. We just wanted to play a game while
Keeping
we
our
talked,
hands
so we
busy,
did.
something to talk about every now and then. Good background video. Also, we need some way to differentiate ourselves from every other white person making a podcast right now.
Also, we're used to games. Talking
We are
about
very
playing games.
gaming.
Yeah.
All right, well, transitioning from that, what is everyone's favorite game? Let's get that one out there, right?
All right, favorite game is Trails from Zero because I'm a big JRPG fan. I love JRPGs; they're great. Xenoblade used to be my favorite series, and then I played Trails, and that kind of went to the wayside.
I didn't see
Really
anything.
good story, Nice, really good story, really well built world, and kind of at times breaks apart from things that I'm not the biggest fan about some JRPGs. Like sometimes it feels like some games are firing on all cylinders at all times, not so as not to lose your interest. But like, and Dayton can vouch for this, like Trails in the Sky, it's really low stakes.
I've only played the first one, essentially the prologue.
That's why I'm
so-
saying for the 40-hour prologue. That's why I was saying you can vouch that it's very low stakes.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, the
Which
ending, I
can
think,
appreciate.
all of a sudden is like, okay, wait, what? Now we're here. Now things are, dire. But until then, it's just wandering.
Yeah, where's Dad?
We gotta find the legendary milk bottle.
The legendary milk and cigarettes.
But yeah, later games do kind of pick it up, but yeah, generally, like, it starts low stakes, and I think the characters are fun, and the world is really well done. Obviously, I can't have you vouch for that based off of just one game of experience, but anyways, there's me off my soapbox.
You said but didn't continue? There was no but?
There was no but. I sometimes just end sentences in but.
I I see.
It's like a but yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of in a similar point at you are for favorite game. I don't really have a favorite game right now, but I guess the closest contention is as a wee lad, as a child, my favorite game series was the Mario Luigi RPGs, similar to you in the RPG aspect. Just because I like RPGs, I like stories, I like the whole leveling systems they have, making numbers go up and feeling better about it. And the reason for that one is I didn't pay attention to the story. You didn't need to, which was great for child me who didn't give a shit and just mashed through all of it. And I really like the rewarding combat, to where if you're skilled enough, you'll never get hit.
As it so happens, I was not skilled enough.
And you got hit. A lot.
Very many times.
What about you, Abby?
I played Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. I got trapped somewhere. I forget where. But the game was enjoyable about it.
You got trapped?
Well, not trapped, but like stuck, because I was a kid and I didn't understand puzzles very well.
Yeah, there was a puzzle I didn't understand because I skipped through it. I remember it was like eating a carrot in like a Wiggler forest, and it was like a special way to do it, and I didn't understand that, so I kept failing it until I just told my mom to do it, and then she just kind of read the instructions and did it. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm not going to know why you did that or how it worked. I'm just going to keep playing and holding forward.
Yeah, I need to find my old DS and figure out where I was.
It's on your Nintendo PC now, actually. They make it convenient nowadays.
Well, I guess I could just, Nintendo PC it, or Nintendo Steam Deck it, because they ported it to the Nintendo Steam Deck.
That is true.
My favorite game, what I'm currently saying is my favorite game is RimWorld right now. But to be fair, when I play games, they tend to be very modded. So
is that your favorite game or favorite current thing, right? Because there's a difference between favorite game or like big memories to a game, special attachment, versus the favorite thing you're playing at the moment.
I mean, I haven't really been playing it recently, but I love the game. It's really good, and when I tend to think of game design, I think of it. Though it's also a game with a lot of modding support, rivaling like even Minecraft. So it could just be a fuck ton of mods.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way for those types of games to keep going and still feel fresh.
Definitely.
But yeah, if you were to ask me like fucking 10 years ago, it would obviously be fucking Minecraft. But Minecraft isn't really something that interests me that much anymore.
Yeah, that phase has definitely died out for a lot of people over time.
Yeah, for sure.
One game that I played a lot and even did like development for is Space Station 13, which is in a similar vein to RimWorld, where it's like a story generator kind of thing, where it's much more about just like do shit and create your own interesting events and stuff. But one game that I always get engrossed into is Stellaris. I don't know what it is with that game, but it's dangerous to my sense of time.
So it seems like you just like you really like a lot of the space types of games and like economy building simulators and such, right? Is that the vibe I'm getting?
Kind of. I think it's just that it tends to be those games that follow that formula, I guess. I don't know. It's
what?
I don't know.
I think you lost track of the
I
the
think
line.
But yeah, I do kind of get what you're saying. Like you tend to like a lot of well, I guess Space Station isn't necessarily a management game, but you know.
What they all have in common is that I played them to like create a story for myself, and like it's kind of like RP in a sense.
I mean, I wouldn't say that, because RPGs give you a story to play, and I like that, right?
Well,
I like a good story. I don't like when I have to make the
role-playing.
story. I don't want to buy a game to make a story. I'm different in that regard.
Well, no, you don't have to make the story. Usually they create their own story, but it's not one created by the developer. It's one that's
someone else creates.
It's one that you develop by playing the game, which is any game, but that's like...
Is that similar to like Baldur's Gate 3 type of style, where it's like you have a bunch of different pathways and options you could go with it, or...
I think it's like playing the game, and then how you play the game kind of determines what you want, what you would refer to as the story. Like kind of like coming up with a story in post, kind of.
Well, so there's a key game in this kind of genre. It's Dwarf Fortress, and like it was kind of the grandfather for a lot of like Space Station 13 takes influence from it. One of the big servers for Space Station 13 is Base Station, which is based on Bay 12. I think it's the forums in there. And Bay 12, which to my knowledge are the developers of Dwarf Fortress, RimWorld is directly inspired. Though Stellaris, I'm not really sure if it has any influence or takes any inspiration from Dwarf Fortress, but I also tend to play Stellaris a bit different than what they intend because it's much more grand strategy, but what I mesh with is creating your own empire and then seeing what happens.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm very much a different player in that regard. When I play Hearts of Iron, when I play Crusader Kings, I'm a map painter. I like seeing the map be the color of the country I'm playing.
Yeah, that's fair. I also enjoy that to an extent, but what I really like is seeing your...
So what I'm getting at, Abby, you like building up your country, and Mia, you like mass genocide and world domination.
I wouldn't quite phrase it
I
like
mean, that's
that.
kind of what you were saying, just a little, painting the entire... you just want my color to be everywhere, And if my color's not there, I will take it by force to paint it my color. I get you.
Again, I wouldn't use that terminology.
Yeah, no, I know.
The overall
but
statement is there.
I mean, don't forget Child Soldiers from Fire Emblem.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
That is a classic.
Which I think we can all...
All
I
shake
don't
hands
want to
on that
continue
one.
this.
Well, I don't know. We already had a bomb bit to the start, so this whole thing's kind of fucked.
No, I was being targeted by the CIA for what I did back in '87.
Don't even get me started about 87. God.
There's a shitty joke to be made there, and I will not.
Anyways, what are some other games you guys enjoy? Because I don't think only one game kind of encompasses your tastes.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair,
That's true.
I don't really, I wouldn't be able to answer that really, because for me, it's just I play pretty much whatever. There isn't too many games where I won't at least give it a try for genres, anyways.
So next episode is going to be a RimWorld playthrough, right?
For me, it's like I'm mostly in JRPG hell. Honestly, like most of what I try and play is JRPGs, but I do. Like recently, I started playing Guilty Gear again. It's fun, and I haven't played Guilty Gear in a long time. I say that I actually played it in March. I was looking through old replays, but...
Was that another but to end the sentence, or were you going to keep going?
My brain just shut off for a second.
Actually,
I think where I was going with that is the last time I had played it before March was in October. It had been since Ben and I last played Guilty Gear, which is a real shame because it's fun. I like fighting games. I was gonna say I like characters that don't need me to turn my brain on, but like I play characters that require me to turn my brain on.
I mean, any character can be a character you don't need to turn your brain on, and if you don't care about winning.
That's true. And Guilty Gear Strive is also sometimes referred to by people in the fighting game community as a guerrilla game. And you don't need to think; you can just guerrilla it out.
I see.
And that used to be especially true when I played the main character, Soul Bad Guy, because you do not need to think when playing Soul.
I mean, I like fighting games, but I also... The whole thinking aspect is what I would prefer, because the thing I don't like about fighting games is how pretty much you have to, if you want to stand a chance, go into the training room, look at the controls, and just, actually look at combos and all that. I'm not a big fan of that part. I just want to be able to, play the game and just be able to pick up all the moveset and combos and everything on my own. But,
yeah.
a lot of traditional fighting games, it's not really as much like that.
Yeah. Guilty Gear is pretty beginner friendly when it comes to fighting games, but yeah, that's still definitely an aspect that I kind of struggle with. Like, I don't remember combos when I'm playing the game, so everything that I do is like a string of like two or three moves.
I mean, to be fair, I think the big problem with the combos on why they're not as intuitive for fighting games is because a lot of it require weird movements, right? Like quarter circle forward, quarter circle back, up, down, left, down, stand up from your chair, do a backflip, and then the move comes out.
That's actually something I used to struggle with, but it's actually, once you play more, it's actually becomes not quite second nature. I still mess up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure...
I still mess up DPs all the time.
You definitely get a better feel for it, and it feels better once you've learned it, but it's definitely like a gatekeeper type of thing on like, do I want to sit down and feel like getting used to that and learning it, right? Is kind of the annoying thing, which is I personally like how Smash does their stuff of where every character has different moves, but they're all the same buttons, just directional B moves or directional A moves, and that's it. Everyone has the same buttons to activate everything, which is easier to figure out what you want to combo with and do. Whereas when you add like quarter circle, forwards, backs, ups, down, and all that, you're not even going to know the move exists most of the time because there's not intuitive unless if you look in the menu. Especially because each character has different inputs than others. It's not like everyone has the same inputs.
Yeah. I will say one of the things that I don't think I will ever understand how to do is full circle inputs. And there are characters who actually have 720-degree inputs, so 2 circles.
Yeah, and I just don't understand how that...
I don't know how people do that.
How does that even get out in time, right? Like, how do you spend the time to do that before a move comes out? I mean, I guess traditional fighting games, side-scrolling like that, it's a bit more slower paced in, like, you have a lot more time to put your move inputs in, but it just feels weird, like, just from someone who doesn't do that. And hasn't learned that. It feels weird to, all right, hold up, before I want my thing to get in, I have to, pull up my memory and do an entire double circle before I do one move. It feels weird to me in that regard. But that's also probably just more so because I am a very reactionary type of player, of which, a lot of it is just speed and just doing it without thinking too much for my playstyle on fighting games and such.
For sure.
Which doesn't really work when I need to, one, think of the inputs I need to do, and then also take the time to do them.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dayton. I don't play fighting games a lot because I suck at them. Probably the best game I was at is Rivals. I just can't play actual fighting games because the inputs are just too much for me to wrap my head around.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's something we could learn if we gave it the time, but it's just one of those things where it's like, that just seems so annoying that I just don't feel like giving it the time. Like, there's a bunch of other games I could just pick up and play at the moment, I guess.
And then, the people I play with are you guys. And
yeah, I mean, that's also the part, it's the friend group, right? Because if not everyone's starting at the same time, you can't join into that. Like, Mia, you, Ben, Zach, you guys all, have played Guilty Gear for a lot. You guys know what you're doing, so it's not like we could just, jump in and play with you guys, I guess.
For sure.
So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely something weird about... I mean, although you're going to have a lot of the traditional fighting game people just thinking, oh, you guys are babies. Oh, that's ridiculous. I could never see myself not doing these. It feels awesome doing the 5 circles before getting a move out. But, I mean, everyone just has different things they've learned, I guess, or decided to do.
I do definitely think that was how I felt at the beginning when I first started playing fighting games. It was like it was the whole, how do you do a dragon punch input? That doesn't make sense. And then I started playing and it's like, oh, you just do a Z. I think that was more helpful than, looking at, oh, yeah, it's, forward and then a quarter circle forward. And it's like, no, you just do a Z. It's like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's I can imagine it's understandable when you do it or when you've gotten good at it. But it's I just don't get the decision to keep it like that anyways, right? I know obviously, for arcades you needed it like that. But I guess it's just the community for a lot of fighting games still like it traditional.
Yeah, that's
and then kind of like a gatekeeping, because I know some fighting games now also have a modern controls type of thing that changed it up to where it's not you need to do all that. And then I know there's a lot of people who gatekeep that of, oh, well, you're not even playing the game correctly then type of thing.
Yeah, I was actually just going to bring up Street Fighter 6 because they have modern controls.
Yeah,
and it's
that's what I was thinking on.
The way I've seen it, again, this is my perspective, it's definitely a great feature, but it shouldn't be gatekept, which is, I know, groundbreaking decision.
Yeah. I mean, that's not anything necessarily on the developers aspect. It does puzzle me the fact that those olden controls still persist to this day, even just in general, right? Considering how much more annoying it is than it needs to be, I guess. Considering every other game has changed to be not that annoying.
So the thing is, and some of it is just rooted in that's just kind of how they are. Some of it is the way that modern is implemented, and what I was going to say is it's kind of holding you back. It shouldn't be gate-kept type of holding you back, but it does actually limit you because it doesn't let you use all of the moves.
Yeah, or does it also make your moves do less damage, or is that not a thing for it?
I don't know. I'm not a Street Fighter player, with the exception of Third Strike, but that's just because it's Third Strike.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's weird because it's the developers are asking for it to be gate-kept when they do it like that as well, right? Because, you're not getting rewarded all for it. You're getting punished for trying to play it, in a more comfortable way.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to add to this. But I think that I should just stop talking.
Great input, Abby.
I don't think that would be very productive.
I'm glad we have the 2-person podcast and the stage has
Yeah, we can switch to different subjects so that you can contribute.
I think I don't see an issue with creating games that appeal to that control scheme, but I think that there needs to be more thought put into newer design control schemes that merge the comfortability of the like Smash style inputs with the older fighting game inputs.
Yeah. Although to be fair, I think even if they don't like merge it, right, you could have a separate option like the traditional or modern. Just don't punish the modern people for liking it convenient. Like
Well,
that's
as
the part
Mia
that's
said,
weird to me.
you can't map all of the inputs to a Smash style control scheme, because even in Smash with the characters like Kazuya and
Well, I mean that was Kazuya was
Kazuya.
done in like a decision like that on purpose because of how he's already in a fighting game and he has that stuff, right? Like if they wanted, they could find ways to give them more moves and combos, or even just make it easier, right? Like merging them a bit or some form of fashion.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, try working on implementing or finding better ways to implement extra moves.
Yeah. Although, I mean, I don't know if it matters too much, because, I mean, the people who are going to play fighting games are going to play them, right? I don't know if it's really gatekeeping too many people, because people who are just playing it casually could probably do fine with the modern controls they do give, even if there is a downside, right? Yeah. And if they get really into the game, then they'll probably choose to learn the traditional. But, I mean, there is still a bit of an annoyance because it's like, well, I don't know if I want to feel like playing. Especially because now I know, well, I mean, if I start playing on modern, yeah, it'll, be easier to get into it. But I already know there's a debuff, right? Why would I want that? But also, learning the traditional seems like a pain in the ass. I don't got time for that.
I think it's similar to like a game with speedrunning. Like at a certain point, you just have to switch over to keyboard or to a different control scheme that is objectively better.
Yeah, if for like optimal, but usually for speedrunning, it's a game you've already played before, right?
Yeah.
And it's something you're really into. Whereas, the reason I was saying it is like, for people who haven't tried a certain fighting game like Guilty Gear at all yet, right? Or Street Fighter, then that seems like it's not necessarily gatekeeping it, but it's like kind of, because it's like discouraging me from wanting to give it much of a try because it's already such an investment, as opposed to so many other games that exist where it's like, hey, the only investment is your money. Give me your money. There you go. Now you can enjoy the game.
I guess that's similar to like a game not having the ability to use a controller, for example, when that would make sense.
I mean, not necessarily as much, I guess. Because usually if a game doesn't allow a controller, it's still built fine control-wise for keyboard, right? Those are usually very intuitive, and the keyboard controls usually vary across everything for the similar defaults. And if there is variation, they usually have tutorials and stuff that teach you as you go along slowly. Whereas the fighting game thing is like, I want to use a controller. You can use controller for both of those examples, but one of them you have to do like, so much extra work and annoyance, and you have to actually go in the training room, right? Read all of the combos and inputs and practice all those before you can even like match in and play anything properly. Otherwise, if you match in before doing any of that, you're just going to get steamrolled not knowing what you're doing, and it's not going to be fun.
I don't know. I think we spent too much time on this topic.
Yeah, I mean, it was like we were going to end it, but then we kind of got back into it.
Yeah. Anyways, are there any other types of games that you guys are interested in that you would like to talk about as well?
I don't know. I mean, I already said I play a lot of games, really. And if we want to, we could talk about, because really relevant gaming right now, we could talk about the Switch 2, as that's coming out soon. Depending on how long it takes for Mia to edit this, that's already out.
This is true. It's coming out,
June?
like a week and a half from today?
You should just say June 5th, right? Because the dates look upable, but you can't look up the date we did this in case of it does take a while.
Oh, I just mean as of the date of recording. There's no shot this is getting released in a reasonable time frame, because there's no way this is getting released in a reasonable time frame.
There's no way this is getting released in a reasonable time frame because there's no way this is getting released in a reasonable time frame.
Yeah, did I stutter?
No.
Yeah, a bit actually.
I
You said
did
it twice.
actually.
Yeah, that's why I questioned.
Yeah, I was gonna say you heard me twice. Yeah, the Switch 2. I actually need to look at. Did they change the price when they put it back up on pre-order?
No, it's still like $450.
Is it still $450?
Yeah, they increased it by a lot. Looking back into it, by the way, wasn't the Switch 1 like $250?
I think the Switch was 300. The Switch was 300 on release.
Okay, all right. I mean, but it's still like an extra $150 on that's crazy. On top of the fact that all of the games got such a massive increase as well.
Well, I think, and I could be wrong on this. I think like the Donkey Kong game coming out, I think is still. No, I think actually the Donkey Kong game is $70. So they're going back up to.
Is it?
I think so, yeah. Which shouldn't be too surprising because I believe that's how much they were selling Tears of the Kingdom for.
They at the end of the Switch's life cycle, they brought everything to 70 from 60. All Switch 2 games are going to be 80 or 90 though.
I thought DK was 70 and Mario Kart World was 80.
I think it's or maybe it was. I don't. Okay, now I'm getting either gaslit or mixed in knowledge because I think it was Mario Kart was like 90 and DK was 80, but you could also be right in Mario Kart's 80, DK 70, although I don't know if that's right.
Hold on, I'm gonna lock myself in a corner and
Yeah,
fact
we
check
could
myself.
easily just look that up. Yeah.
It's exactly what I'm going to do.
I know next to nothing
Mario-
about the Switch 2.
That is fair. And I'm not going to buy it until it has more games because it's just releasing with like what Deltarune and Mario Kart.
I mean, yeah, it's not really releasing with too many big ones, I guess. I mean, it has some big ones. Most of the games they're releasing on the Switch 2 initially, it seems like, are just games on the Switch 1, but like with a bit better graphics, I guess. But you got to buy it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Although
like,
I don't know what the requirement is for them saying one game is $80 and 170 if that is the case. Considering Mario Kart, a game you wouldn't expect to be like the cream of the crop price point, is higher than Donkey Kong, which is basically the next version of Mario Odyssey. Like
Yeah.
that seems weird.
I think it's because more people are gonna buy Mario Kart because that's more of a party.
So yes, Donkey Kong Bonanza is $70, Mario Kart World is $80.
Okay.
And the Switch 2 is $450. So they did not increase it from then.
Gotcha. Although the annoying part about this just in general is now it's also having PlayStation and Xbox raising their prices.
Yeah, I really like that Microsoft said, wow, everybody hates Nintendo for raising the price of Mario Kart
Well,
World.
no, because
Let's do the same
what
thing.
they saw. They see everyone hating it, but they ignore that part. They just see, oh wait, Nintendo's getting away with it too, which
Yeah.
means we can get away with it. Let's increase it further. And this is just a pipeline that's just going to lead to in the future, next system, Nintendo says, oh well, we can get away with it again, and they push it more, and then all the others are going to start pushing it. Or that reverse. Next time, maybe PlayStation releases the PlayStation 6 and increases that price. So now the other two are going to increase theirs. And then
Yeah.
all games are going to be like $150 a piece, and all systems are going to be like $1,000. But you could get quality games on Steam for $15, and the system, I mean, Steam itself is free.
Yeah.
The PC, though.
PC isn't, but
I mean, yeah, but
I
like
mean-
most people have a computer in some fashion, right? And it's
Yeah.
multi-purpose, right? On top of the fact that the price of games even are so much different.
Yeah, actually, I know this was a problem a few years ago, namely when I built my computer. Haven't prices for PC parts normalized again?
I don't know. I hope so.
Because I know people were scalping them a lot in 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
well, I mean, with recent events, that may have changed.
Yeah, now they're scalping Pokemon cards, so maybe the PCs are safe.
I like the way you think.
Why are they doing that to Pokemon? They need their stuff
Yes.
to live. But yeah, I'm using a Steam Deck instead. I don't really mess with consoles that much, and I much prefer the freedom that a Steam Deck provides over a Nintendo Switch. I'm getting a lot more use out of it than I did my Switch when I had that.
That's fair.
I don't have to rebuy games, which is a massive benefit.
Left this one mud block in a chest. I'm gonna call you mean names. But yeah, definitely, I agree. Though there is some nostalgia factor for me in having these old systems, or the older systems, to play games. Not because like, oh yeah, I want to give Nintendo my money 15 years after the fact, but like I fished out, or I convinced my brother to give me his old DSi because I just wanted to play a physical copy of Pokemon, just because I thought it'd be fun, and bring me back to when I was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, there is something nice about that. I mean, especially
Yeah.
for growing up and nostalgia now as well. It's just, it is nicer every now and then at some point to just play it on a physical thing as opposed to with a, mouse keyboard on your Nintendo PC.
Yeah, for sure.
There is definitely a difference with it in the feeling.
In a similar vein, I mayhaps have had my parents keep a very large CRT in their house for the past few years because I want it when I move out.
I wonder why you have that.
I mean, I don't know whether to call you efficient or a psychopath on that.
Both.
Okay, you're an efficient psychopath.
Psychopath.
I'm an engineer. Being efficient is a compliment.
And being a psychopath. It goes hand in
Being
hand,
psych-
actually.
yeah,
Now it's making
it
sense.
really does.
But I mean, to be fair, I think the main reason people buy or basically feel the need to buy the systems, even though they're overpriced, is game exclusivity.
Yeah, and that's something that
Yeah.
is unfortunate with Nintendo, that it will never change. You know, they've been that way since
No.
literally the beginning.
Well, yeah, I mean, and because they can get away with it a lot more because all of Nintendo games, they make so many.
Yeah.
A lot of good ones, too. And it's all exclusive.
Yeah.
You can't find it anywhere else. You can't find it on Steam. You can't find it on Xbox or PlayStation. It's completely exclusive.
Yeah.
So no matter what they raise their prices to, people are unfortunately going to buy them. Although the thing is, there's a difference, though, with PlayStation and Xbox, though. So if PlayStation plays it correctly and Xbox increases their prices, but PlayStation doesn't, they have, like, the same fucking games, realistically, for the most part. So PlayStation could one-up Xbox in that regard by not increasing their prices, and more people will then buy that.
They could make up
But,
for
I mean,
their lack of
they can't really...
exclusives.
What?
I said they can make up for their lack of exclusives by having reasonably priced games.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, PlayStation also, I feel like, has more exclusives than Xbox as it is, even,
It might,
currently.
but a lot of
Like,
them...
they make more exclusives, but all of them do end up going to Steam after, like, 2 years or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's not entirely exclusive, but, like, you know, that's still 2 years after. Or, like, a year. I don't know the exact one, but still a while after.
I think there's also an issue with the price of making games. I think that's also a part of it, that the reason why they would increase their prices, though I'm not entirely...
I mean, yes, but they also just increased their prices for Nintendo anyway. Yeah, for all of them. Like, it feels like a few months ago, every game was a standard 60, and now everything's like, you know, $70. And a lot of the games now aren't even complete because every single game, all the big ones, are charging like $25 later for some DLC.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like before, you know, the standard would be that DLC, it comes with the game already because that's part of the game. Or like you have a lot of people who give out free DLC, right? Well, now it's like, why is the DLC like, you know, not even a tenth of the length of the actual game, but half the price?
For sure.
On top of the price increasing so much, like, because again, it just increased by $10, and now it's increasing by another $10.
Well, it increased by $10, like, for most systems 5 years ago, because I think they upped the prices with the release of the PS5 and the...
I don't think that was
One
5
X.
years ago, was it?
That released in 2020.
No, I don't think it was with the PS5, though. I think it was after the fact. There was a certain point in time where, after all the systems were out, they put it out and changed it.
It's possible.
And then it's also just criminal what Nintendo's doing with, like, all of their other stuff on the Switch, like with the accessories and stuff, like, that you need to pay extra for. You need to pay extra for the online, the Nintendo camera, which is worse quality than, like, a modern phone.
I forgot about that.
You gotta pay extra for Nintendo Discord, which is also worse quality than, get this, Discord, a free service. Like, a lot of things going on with the Nintendo Switch 2 is very, very money hungry right now.
Yeah. And unfortunately, like you said, people are going to buy it up anyway.
We're gonna buy it. I'm no different, right? There's games I do want to play, and unfortunately, even though everyone can admit, yeah, they're scummy and it's shitty what they're doing here, they're gonna get away with it so easily.
Yeah. Actually, something on the subject that reminds me of the game cards. Not the cartridges, but the game cards. You know about those?
What do you mean?
So they have, aside from the cartridges, they have separate cards that are physical carts. You need to put the cart in to play the game, but they only contain the digital version of the game.
Oh, yeah, they're making everything be digital now instead of, like, actually inserting
not all.
a physical... Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think Cyberpunk originally was supposed to be a game or a card. I don't remember what the terminology is. I think Cyberpunk was originally
Cartridge?
a card, but they'd made it a cartridge. But recently I've been getting into Puyo Puyo, which is its own type of thing. And it's like, the game is like 4 or 8 gigabytes or something. It's relatively small. And they're putting it on a card instead of a cartridge. Now, this is the fault of Sega and not Nintendo, but the fact stands, like, they are selling the physical copy of a digital game, which I don't
Yeah, I mean,
like.
we can still blame Nintendo for it regardless.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You didn't need to specify.
Shell pile?
They're selling NFTs of games.
I forgot that phenomenon. I haven't heard about it in a long time.
Yeah, that's a good thing,
It is a good thing.
though.
All right, I'm now going to hop over to my jump scare question, because we're actually making some decent time. We're almost at 50 minutes. Plus,
Damn.
probably a couple minutes of the the funny. All right, so you know how, like, you guys are from Michigan, I'm from Wisconsin, right?
No, I didn't know that.
So here's my question
Wait,
for you.
Abby, you're also from Michigan?
So Dayton,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
might
right,
not know
yeah.
this. We have these things called viewers.
Wait, I've been to your house? What?
Dayton, we have these things called viewers. I don't know if you know this.
I know, I'm just giving you a hard time. Wait. You think people are watching this?
No, they're not, but I can pretend.
Oh God.
Did you find anything good?
There was
Wow.
nothing here.
Okay. You
There's
found
a
water.
cave underneath, it looks like, but I don't...
All right. So there's this thing that I've heard that I don't know if it's just something that was made up for marketing purposes or if it's just an actual thing.
Probably.
That's supposed to be tied to people from Michigan. Have you heard of putting ranch on pizza? Is that an actual thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have never heard of that outside of a commercial for ranch where they're like,
I'm
try
a
it because
non-believer.
it's ranch.
I don't know why. Is that just a Michigan thing? Wasn't it like a thing where like everyone in the U.S. or like Americans in general are just supposedly crazy for ranch? Wasn't that like the stereotype?
I think the stereotype is Midwesterners are crazy for ranch, but I've literally never heard of that outside of, oh yeah, people from Michigan like to put ranch on their pizza.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard of that. I don't like putting ranch on pizza.
Yeah,
To be fair, I'm not a big fan of ranch.
That's fair. Yeah, ranch is definitely a
Unless if
dressing
it's
that-
ranch seasoned flavored popcorn at the movie theaters. And yes, I know how batshit insane that is.
Oh yeah, things like that. Have come
Although that's
crazy
got
way.
its own story. You know what? Hold up real quick. I need to justify myself now that I brought it up. When I was young,
I was already with
I
you
went to the
100%, but tell the story anyways.
Yeah, when I was young, with a friend, we went to the movie theaters together, right? And we saw they had these weird seasonings for popcorn, like stationed out, and you could do them yourself. And we looked at it, and we were both looking at ranch, and we're like, that's fucking nasty. That sounds disgusting as hell. That's like, who would even do that? And so as young, stupid kids do, they said, I dare you to try it.
Yeah.
If you don't, no balls and all that, yada yada. And I was like, oh, damn, he pulled the no balls card. Now I like am legally obligated to do it. All right, let me try some. And I tried it, and I was like, wait a minute. This doesn't taste like ranch at all? Like, this is like one of those like artificial flavor type things where it tastes completely different from like the actual thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of actually slaps. So I'm like, oh, that's actually, wait a minute, it's really good. I start putting more on, and he gives me the most like disgusted, what the fuck are you serious? Look. And I'm like, dude, yeah, this is awesome. Try some. And he's like, no, dude, I'm not insane. That's awful. I'm good. And so for the rest of that movie, I don't know what it was, I enjoyed some ranch popcorn. And since then, anytime I see it at the movie theaters, I always sprinkle some of that bitch on.
Nice.
That and the kettle corn. Those two are really good.
I don't like kettle corn.
Not at the same time.
Or I guess I
mean,
can't say
I like.
about artificial flavoring, but I just don't like
Yeah,
kettle corn.
because again, I don't like ranch.
What were you gonna say?
I like the caramel corn.
I mean, that's
popcorn.
different because that's not like the sprinkling on. That's like they make the caramelized
Yeah.
popcorn thing, right?
I mean,
this
like
is
the
like
cheddar
a
is good.
sprinkling seasoning, like a salt sprinkling type of thing, right?
Yeah,
As opposed to
cheddar's
built-in.
good for that.
Cheddar is nice, yeah.
It is, though I guess that shouldn't be too surprising coming from me.
Yeah,
I am
Wisconsin
from
cheese and all
Wisconsin.
that, yeah.
Dayton, is the ranch stuff for the popcorn? Is that like Cool Ranch Doritos kind of flavor?
A bit more similar to that, yeah.
Oops. Oh, I invented gravity. Nice.
Oh, congratulations.
They
Change your
call
name.
me Madam Isaac Newton.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know why I never thought of that comparison before. That is probably a better way to say it than ranch, because Cool Ranch Doritos, I don't even associate really with ranch. Those are just the blue Doritos
Real.
in the blue bag. Like I
They're the
don't
good
think
Doritos.
too much about it, honestly, for those to process before that. Wait, no, that is supposed to take like ranch, and it doesn't.
For sure.
So then, yeah, it's in the same vein as that.
I had a follow up to that, and I don't remember what it was going to be.
Something about Doritos.
It was probably important.
It probably wasn't. What were you talking about before your story with the popcorn?
I think wasn't it what you were talking about on how we like ranch or something, or ranch on pizza?
Yeah, ranch.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what you were talking about.
I thought there was something else, but yeah, I didn't know it was a thing outside of like ranch commercials that I saw like within the last 5 years.
Yeah, so it was like something when we were back in high school, which I guess is like.
Oh, that's what it was going to be. It was the ranch flavored soda. That's what I was going to talk about. Oh yeah.
Not as bad as the butter. So for
I think
context,
it was much worse.
Well, I don't think we were there. You were there for the butter.
I was there for the butter.
Okay, then no, I definitely wasn't.
And
No,
I was
you
like
weren't.
the one person who actually
And
liked the butter soda.
I'll give you some context for the viewers, right? We had this candy shop, weird candy shop near where a bunch of us live. We had Mia fly in for roughly a week, right? And every now
5
and then
days, yeah.
for that candy shop, they have a bunch of weird flavored sodas. Like red velvet cake or like Kim Jong-un's nuclear blast, right? You know, the classics. Bunch of weird shit like grass, just grass. And it never tastes exactly like what it says, weirdly enough.
I argue
And
that's
so
a
we
good
would
thing.
always buy a bunch of them. Yeah. You tell me you don't want to taste Kimmy?
My
but
lawyer
we'd
should
always
advise
buy-
me not to answer it.
We always buy
lawyer
a
mention.
few of them, and like each time we would get different ones and make like a little bit of a tier list for them, right? And one time there was one that's just ranch. That was one of the most vile things we've ever had.
Wow, that is
But
very red.
For all of these sodas, right? We've had like in total like 50 different flavors to try because we finished trying all of them at some point. I have managed to at least swallow and drink down all of them except for one, which was butter. That was the only soda where as soon as it entered my mouth, it left. Uncontrollably. Like, even for ranch, I was like, oh, that's fucking disgusting, but I'm not gonna, like, spit it out all over the place, right? Like, I can still swallow it down, but it's nasty as hell. But the butter, dude, that butter, It was like someone just melted a bunch of sticks of butter and said, now drink this liquid. But if it was worse than that. Like, they added some extra chemicals and shit to it to make it extra nasty. And then told me to pay for it.
So
They said, drink this shit up like a good boy, hate it, spit it out, now give me your money.
I don't think the butter was that bad. I'll be honest, and I know it's a
Go
controversial.
buy one right
opinion.
now.
Go buy one.
Leave
the
didn't
recording
recognize those
session.
now.
We'll
Buy the
wait.
butter.
The store's closed, irrelevant. Go get it right now and prove your point.
But I'm also like the weird kind of person who licks the butter off the butter knife when I'm done with it.
Wait, you do what?
I will not elaborate.
No, I didn't properly catch it. What exactly do you do?
You know exactly what I said.
No, I
Fucking
genuinely
gaslighting me.
didn't fully catch the sentence.
I used to like lick the butter off the butter knife when I was done with it. But also like I have way too much butter, and I'm gonna have like a fucking heart attack in my 30s.
You sick fuck. Although to be fair, that one's not as bad as it could have been. Like I thought you were gonna I don't know. It could have been like oh yeah, after I'm done eating food that had butter on, I start licking the bottom of the plate for that extra little bit of butter crumbs. Like
No, that's my brother.
I thought you were about to get in some like freak shit like that.
Yeah, I have way too much butter and butter my toast way too much when I used to have that a lot. But yeah, I don't think what's your opinion on butter just in general? Why did you date what the fuck?
I wanted to kill him, and that seemed effective.
No, I'm gonna
Butter is
You got
okay. The most use it sees for me is like a pan nonstick.
Okay. Yeah, I put that shit on. Like my brother puts that in fucking ramen, I think.
What?
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
It is very strange.
I don't know. But I also have a very odd taste just in general. And I know my opinions on the taste of things differed a lot from you guys when we did that tier list.
Have you ever seen those like gaming isn't fun anymore videos?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Great.
What?
I
Elaborate?
occasionally
Stop playing if it's not fun, idiot.
No, so I would occasionally, I say would because I don't really watch a lot of YouTube. I try not to watch a lot of YouTube anymore. But it was always these like, and it always had Minecraft in the thumbnail. Always. It was just like people like, I don't enjoy games anymore, and like it's just like, okay.
All right. Thanks for sharing.
It's like a video essay length video just about I've grown out of gaming as a hobby. And it's just like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the reasoning?
I never watched the videos. It was just they're like always in there's points in time where it's just like that is all that is in my recommended.
I tend to watch video essays about like game development.
That's fair. Game development is definitely an interesting topic.
Yeah.
And I think game design, and I've been doing some programming and stuff, but not like, obviously I'm not a professional game dev. It's something that I think is kind of fun, but I wouldn't want to do it as a job, partly just because, working conditions for, it's notorious in and outside of game dev that crunch is a real severe thing. But I think
and that is a good reason to increase prices for video games.
Yeah,
so that we don't
definitely.
have to deal with those conditions.
It's kind of caught in between like a 50-50 on I want to support the developers, and that's a lot of money.
And also the fact that money's not going to the developers.
That's true as well.
No way in hell. But anyways, yeah, I probably have the most experience because I was fucking Space Station 13 server I did development for, and that involved a lot of game design stuff. Though it was mostly just implementing stuff and then learning that it fucked up game design for the server. It's definitely my passion.
Yeah.
I definitely have a passion for game design, and I find it very interesting.
Yeah, I think my passion lies more inside of music. I own We can just say too many instruments, and I mean overall it's just what? But yeah, I mean definitely my passion is in instruments. I love playing music, and I actually so the original reason that I had gotten into doing music stuff was actually I wanted to, as many people around my age wanted to make like an indie game and stuff. And it's like, oh well, somebody needs to do the music. Well, I already play in band and I don't mind it, so I could go to school to learn how to do music. And then that kind of turned into, wow, I really like playing music. What if I just could do this all the time? And I can't, because playing music is a very not stable career, but it's definitely,
Yeah, I mean, as with a lot of things in art.
yeah, you know, like designing games and creating games, definitely something I enjoy. A project that I had been working on for like 5 years is the idea or the premise for a game, essentially. What would be a game. It was kind of meant to be a story, but I'm notoriously bad at explaining things and describing things. So it would have turned into a game concept. And I made a follow-up project to that. And the basis that I have, is just a story. But like, there's a lot of, like a couple of weeks ago when I was working on just programming for the fun of it, because I don't have a job right now, I figured, hey, I could use this as a basis to try and work on, what I would want the game to look like if I were to turn this into a game. And that's very, something that's very fun to do. There was, I could have spent more time, like, in theory, game balance and stuff like that. But, that's something I don't have a lot of experience in, something I have, opinions on, but not something that I would
Yeah.
just say I'm confident in doing.
Mm.
I am horribly incompetent when it comes to game balance. When I was doing development stuff, I basically just had to talk to people who actually understood the game to like see how shitty my ideas actually are balance was.
So, I mean, the best way to figure out is by playtesting. I mean, that's the whole reason there are playtesters, right?
Yeah.
Because then that actually gets into practice the balancing issues.
Yeah, the issue was for the game that I was playing is that it's a live server and there's only one server for the game. So if you want to like play test things, it has to be in a server with like at most like 4 or 5 people that you can pull together. Either that or it gets pushed to the live server, and do you screw something up there, it's gonna impact a lot of people. So I don't know, it's a very unique situation. Usually with game development stuff, you can just test it on your own or have other people play test it.
Yeah, and that's, I think, one of the benefits of, my ideal game is, shockingly, an RPG. And, it's a single player game. I could playtest it myself. I could send it to other people, be like, hey, playtest this, what do you think?
Yeah, those are
And,
definitely easier than live service or needing a bunch of people type of stuff.
Yeah,
MMOs.
for sure. I mean, how often do you see, for example, Counter-Strike? People are always complaining about the balance of that game. And partly just because people in Counter-Strike just like to complain.
In competitive shooter games especially, you're never going to make everyone happy. Everyone's always going to complain about something in those.
Yeah, and that goes into, a lot of people have different opinions on, what a game should look like. Like, one of my common things I think there are a lot of changes have been made in, say, Minecraft over the last, 10, 15 years that I'm not the biggest fan of, but I'm not Mojang, so that doesn't really matter. Things like that.
Well, I mean, your opinion isn't going to have that much impact. It still does matter.
Yeah.
Especially for yourself, because that's how you view the game, but I don't know.
Yeah. What I mean is, like, at the end of the day, I'm not Mojang, so my opinions on things that I don't think were good decisions don't really matter much at the end of the day, because they're not going to change the course of how the game flows. And that's what modded Minecraft is for. Or just, I'll admit it. I like to play beta Minecraft because a lot of the things that I don't like in modern Minecraft aren't in beta Minecraft. A lot of things I don't like, or that I do like, aren't in beta Minecraft, which is unfortunate. But, yeah, that's, part of the beautiful thing about having games with mod support is that I forgot where I was going with that sentence. But yeah, you can customize, the game to be how you want. And, if you have prior, like, say, programming knowledge or something like that, you can be the change that you want to see in the game for at least that version. Some games update frequently, some don't. Yeah, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the only one with real authority or power to do things is the developers. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter how much people complain unless if the developers are either listening and taking into account the complaints or also feeling the same complaints.
Yeah, for sure.
There's plenty of games where the developers just say, I don't care. and ignore all the complaints, and therefore nothing gets changed.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of situations where, some games are really bad on release. Most recent example I can think of, because I don't play a lot of new games, is when Cyberpunk released. That was a hot mess. They fixed that. Older than that, No Man's Sky released. That was a mess. That ended up being fixed, things like that. But I'm sure that there are some games that release in a terrible state and just never get fixed because they don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, they've already made their initial bag, and a lot of the times fixing the game either won't change who's already playing it and usually won't affect who's going to play in the future.
Yeah.
And I mean, with No Man's Sky specifically, I know there were some people that were actually upset that the game got fixed because it required them to think more, and they were using the game as kind of like just background noise while doing other stuff or like watching videos.
I think if that's a complaint they have, they should play RuneScape, because as someone who has played RuneScape, that sounds like something that you would do while playing RuneScape. It is not enjoyable. It is menial work. Well, I don't know if menial is the right word, but it's, mindless work, and you just kind of do it.
If you like RuneScape, you might also enjoy an actual fucking job.
Yeah, you come home from your 9 to 5 to do a second 9 to 5. Yeah, no, RuneScape is really funny because it's a phrase I've heard and I've used for other games just because I think it's funny, is friends don't let friends play RuneScape or good friends don't let friends play RuneScape, rather, because you do not want to get a friend into RuneScape because it's just, no,
Why? Is it just because
it's just not, objectively speaking, like, it's just not good. If you wanted to click a piece of stone for, I don't even want to know how many hours it takes to get like level 99 mining. I mean, there is quests, but a lot of the quests require skill levels, and getting those skill levels are generally extremely tedious and boring.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it is a game from how long ago?
RuneScape, the original RuneScape, I want to say is from like 03 or something. It's really, maybe 02. And then this version of RuneScape is like, I think this is an archived copy from like 07 or something like that they progressively update.
I mean, so yeah, then I guess the big thing is just it's very outdated, yeah, as you would expect in terms of how it is.
Yeah.
The game Space Station 13 also came out. It was originally made in 2003 as well.
Interesting.
It's actually like the birthday of the game is around my birthday.
Huh. Neat.
Which is more information that the world needs, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you want to go and click rocks for probably what would total over 40 hours, that's why friends don't let friends play RuneScape. I don't want people to click rocks.
Isn't a famous insult saying of "go kick rocks"?
Go click rocks. That's awesome. I love that.
Well, it's go kick rocks, but this works in the exact same fashion, basically. Go click rocks.
Yeah.
It's actually a banger insult.
It is.
I'm hearing it out loud again.
That's why I was immediately talking about how genius it was and not acknowledging the fact that they're similar. Yeah, RuneScape is not... I guess it's not something you want to do if you want to do something enjoyable. It's just something you want to do if you want to brain off.
Yeah, it's like something you want to do if you want to keep your hands busy while doing something else, I guess, now and times. Especially, I mean, to be fair, especially now, right, where the whole TikTok child brain is like a big thing, right? Attention span is at an all-time low, right?
The modern child could not play RuneScape.
No.
There is no joke. They would just not survive RuneScape.
They would not survive.
I really want to see that type of experiment done, like in a Mr. Beast style fashion of I got 100 children to play RuneScape.
Mr. Beast, no.
He just makes that YouTube thumbnail that he always does, and it just paints a circle around it. Why not add that to it? Fuck it. I'm genuinely curious as to how long children of this generation would last playing RuneScape for a cash prize.
First person to hit 99 woodcutting wins.
Well, no, it's last one. It's last one to keep playing gets a Fortnite V-Bucks card, because that holds more weight to children than actual cash, because they don't actually know how much cash can be spent on V-Bucks.
I mean, the problem with that kind of video is that
it would be too
last
short.
Very long. It would only be 3 minutes.
Yeah. Shocking. They all quit. I don't know. Some of those children would do a lot for a V-Bucks card.
That's true. Can't argue with that.
Like that's where we'll see some willpower, and honestly, it might even make them better people by the end of it.
RuneScape playing RuneScape will not make you a better person. I can promise you.
I mean, in terms of how it is now with TikTok brain, where they can't, pay attention to something for more than 5 seconds without it like moving or doing something crazy.
That's fair.
Learning some patience, couldn't be the worst.
That's fair.
And then they're gonna have like horror stories in the future about like, oh yeah, this one time when I was like 7, oh, I really wanted V-Bucks, and some guy said I needed to click on rocks for 12 hours straight.
That is such a funny sentence.
RuneScape changed me.
A lot of people can say that, but like people of an older generation. Like that's where like buying GF and like RuneScape scamming is less. Well, I guess it is still a thing, but in the gambling sense. But no, RuneScape scamming was a huge thing. And then again, there's also buying GF that originated from RuneScape.
Buying GF?
Yeah, MMO players don't go outside. There's your joke.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the socially isolated people who their only interaction with other human beings is a fucking video game.
I mean, we have that now. It's just called Final Fantasy, whatever the one it was.
14.
14?
14?
Yeah. I
we
mean the
still have
MMO
that.
genre is definitely still alive.
Actually, you know what? We have that right now. It's called Genshin Impact.
Well,
I'm so glad.
Or all the other 10 variants.
I'm so glad that I can't ask any of my friends how much money have you spent on Genshin, because it's just not a relevant question anymore for my
That
friends.
it isn't. Well, actually, never mind. I was going to say, I mean, you could ask Killian,
I could.
but, it wouldn't be on Genshin. It would be on the other one.
Wuthering Waves?
No, I think it was the other one. Well, actually, it might be that one, too.
I don't know. I don't follow gacha
Okay,
games. I don't know
sorry.
what people are playing.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, for those gacha games, there's like 10 different variations of the exact same thing.
Yeah. So, fun fact on the
Which
on the topic
color
of
paint
gacha
do you wanna
games, I actually
That's a dangerous pipeline to go down. Tread carefully, soldier.
I am aware. A couple months ago, I downloaded Fate Grand Order with the intention of going free to play until I pull Astolfo. I pulled Astolfo on the tutorial pull. I had no reason to keep playing. There's no follow-up. I just thought that was really funny. And I did, I had to confess my sins. Yes, I did download a gacha game in the year of our Lord 2025.
No.
But it's okay. Okay. I think it's a little early. Oh wait, never mind. That's orbs.
That's just a chill going down the spine. There's nothing
But yeah, no, I had
happening
to.
yet.
I'm down to confess to my sins. Like I downloaded a gacha game, but I've only spent money on the gacha game once intentionally, and it was when I was really into Fire Emblem Heroes. I bought the monthly pass, and then I didn't know how to cancel it, so I accidentally renewed it.
Ooh, yikes.
But yeah, I'm very lucky that I have the mental fortitude to not spend money on gacha games. Because
I mean, I think the big reason for that, which is nice, depending on how you look at it, is just you don't have income to throw at
that's
anime women.
That's true as well, but I also just never felt the urge to like, oh, I really need to pull on this banner, because like it's like if I don't get the character I want, damn, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And then I don't feel the will to spend money.
yeah. I don't really spend much money on games apart from ones I don't play.
I spend a lot of money on games. Usually you have to do that to be able to play them, actually.
Yeah, well, that's what I
Like they usually,
saying.
there's not many games that just let you do that without forking over a fuck ton of money. Were you present during the Switch 2 section?
Mentally or in the server?
I don't know. I may have phased out of existence.
Because my answer to both is no.
Okay.
But yeah, I wanted to bring this kind of up as a joke, but I think we all have the same answer, so there's not really any discussion to it. Is, joking around, because, I have a Steam library with a bunch of games in it, but
no games?
I'm always like, oh man, I don't know what to play, so it's like, just unlimited
You and Ben
games.
both.
I
Although, to
know.
be fair, once you play a lot of games, for the most part, if you play them once, you don't really need to play them again. Like, not many games have
Wait.
insane replay value.
Really?
Yeah.
Do not check my playtime on RimWorld.
Well, that's one of the games designed with replay value in mind, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is the kind of games that
I don't have much reason to play, for example, Trails in the Sky again, unless I want to go
Well, I mean,
for
yeah, it's
all
big for
achievements,
RPGs.
which I do kind of want to go for all achievements, so I might replay it. But, like, for a normal person... For a normal person, they wouldn't want to replay it. They don't have much of a reason.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually RPGs are made with one playthrough in mind. Because once you've played it, it's like, well, I mean, the story is like the big part of it, right? And I know the story now because I played it, so like,
Yeah.
not as much of a reason to do that again.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with, unlimited games but no games. But I'm pretty sure I think we are all on team unlimited games but no games.
Yeah, because like bacon will just end in the result in the heat death.
I don't know. Bacon's kind of nice though.
So the funny thing is, last night when I was cooking up last second topics in my head, I was thinking, wouldn't it be really funny to ask that question, but like the normal version of it?
No,
I never heard the normal version of it.
It
is
would
no
just
normal
be,
version.
It would just be, instead of saying unlimited games but no games, it'd be unlimited games but no bacon. The joke is that it would be the setup, but just something completely normal. But it's not
honestly,
like that.
that's kind of just underwhelming.
It is underwhelming, but I have a sense of humor wouldn't be the right word. But
No, I mean, you have one. That doesn't
You have a
mean it's
void where a
good,
sense
but you
of humor
have
should
one.
go.
yeah, that's fair. I've done absolutely nothing in this game for the last hour and a half.
Oh yeah, me too. I've been dicking
neither.
around. I've been just holding forward in the direction and dying. I mean, again, it's just background noise, my guy. Or
Oh, yeah,
not
yeah.
noise. It background looks.
Background noise for all parties.
Yeah. Anyways, we're done with background noise, guys. You're welcome.
Okay. Great. I don't have
Go
any
I know you're
armor.
complaining about that a lot. All right, get ready. I've done you a favor.
It's
You
gonna
were
despawn.
complaining. No, it's gonna come this way, right? Is that how that works?
I'm pretty sure the eater despawns outside of the corruption.
Oh, hey, he despawned.
You're getting a good drop.
All right, next one.
Oh, all right. Round 2. I don't have a wormhole.
We're ending
potion,
it with a
please
boss, all right? We're 5 minutes short of time, so now we can get the gameplay section. So we don't really have time to start a big combo. Oh, this guy's slow as hell.
I mean,
Does he not
are we
move?
playing just normal?
Oh yeah, this is normal Terraria, not fuck you difficulty modded. Bro
Yeah,
barely moves, and I've got a gun.
I was thinking, I should turn on expert mode, but it really doesn't matter all that much.
No, I mean, we don't really need the expert mode. Oh no, my bones. Where'd it go? Oh, shoot it.
I was expecting
this
this to
boss
be
fight's so
mildly challenging.
Yeah, me too. A little bit ago, you said, we're not ready. It's too soon.
I did say that because I don't have any armor.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need it. I got a top hat.
Oh, you're so right.
I have wooden armor. Does anyone have any cactus? Or you probably put it in the chest.
No, but I think I put another top hat in the chest.
Oh, hell yeah. No, I have glasses.
Awesome. Thank you, Dayton.
Yeah, of course. I had a second one.
This game is literally unplayable without Shield of Cthulhu.
Yeah, see, we're just farming up the Shield of Cthulhu. Oh! It's not expert
Yeah.
mode. We can't get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. It's not like we're going to be here long. Can I throw a sticky bomb? Will it attach to him? It doesn't
No,
attach
it
to
will
him.
It does not.
It does not.
Yeah, okay. No, I
Dayton,
don't know why I tried the third time. It doesn't attach to him.
Maybe the fourth time. Maybe the fourth time.
Yeah,
maybe
the fourth
a
time.
bunch of these grenades will attach to him.
Well, the grenades, I believe, explode on impact. Why are you following me?
No, they take a few seconds.
Oh.
Just throwing these around here. There, let's get some grenades. Oh, I died to grenades. Who could have seen that coming?
What if I, drank?
What if I tried it again, though?
A local man
Unlimited
destroys
bombs,
entire
but no
village.
bombs.
Arson.
This is me in fucking Minecraft when I see the village.
Oh, hello, guy I couldn't see.
We did it.
We did it, but at what cost?
We did it. We saved the village.
Goodbye.
Oh.
And now we all die.
Yeah, well, that was the first episode and all that.
Look at me. I'm the Eye of Cthulhu.
Wow, she's the Eye of
John
Cthulhu.
Turn on PvP.
Well, who's got the magical sword, and what sword is that?
It's the ice sword. I can give it to
It's
whoever
the
wanted
ice
to play
alternative for
melee
the
if we
Eternatus.
continue this.
Oh, we're not continuing this.
Fair
yeah,
enough.
no, I blew everything up in the idea that we weren't continuing.
You know what? That's fair.
You need to turn on PvP, dude.
How do I do that?
You go into the
It's
menu
on the right. The
and you
swords,
press
yeah.
the swords.
Oh,
I got a gun. Careful. Oh, you got angles.
Mia has disabled PvP.
Yeah, I'm just watching.
I really like.
I'm just the war reporter.
Got him. Sniper. Get down.
Get down, Madam President.
Oh God, it's the CIA sniper from the beginning.
Oh no!
Of
Back.
the episode. Oh my God, it's full circle.
Wait, hold up,
It
Abby.
goes
Abby.
full circle.
Abby. We gotta end this properly. Mia, get over there. Turn on PvP. Yeah.
I did turn on PvP.
We gotta end this one with a bang. Hold up. Oh yeah.
Team.
Let me get you a little. There we go. All right. Stand on the corner over there, the little cliff on the side to the right. All
You
right.
gotta zoom in. You gotta zoom in.
Oh yeah, hold on, let me zoom in.
Let me know when you got it.
All right, I got it.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Hold on, one more.
Ah shit. All right. One more second. That one didn't count. Don't even worry about it. Thanks for.
Wait, no, I can't speak. I'm dead.
Yeah, you know that's how that works. You're a ghost.
Ooh, thanks for
having a ghost.
watching.
All right, hold up, guys. Yeah.
Oh,
Come
no,
here,
it's listening. It's a fucking. Oh my God.
Quiet neighborhood.
This is gone. This is gone so fucking bad now.
Oh yeah, this is a great sign for what's to come.
All right, everybody, that has been the first episode of Insert Something Funny Here. Thank you greatly. We have turned to
There
the
was nothing fucking here that was funny.
town inside me is now a graveyard.
Bringing it back to the guilty gear. I see.
Oh my God.